Twilight, what helmet is that?
This is my recon helmet.
Why are you wearing it?
Well, what do you think we're doing right now?
Recon?
You see, kids, you can learn.
All right, come on. Well, due to extenuating circumstances,
We were too fucking lazy.
we had to go out for a patrol before we could finish our questions. So, we're gonna finish our questions on our patrol.
Which I cannot see going wrong whatsoever.
What? We never fight anything. What the hell could happen?
You never know.
What did you just watch?
My Little Pony and my two slightly bigger ponies.
Season 7, Episode 10, A Royal Problem, where Celestia and Luna finally get some FaceTime in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
Pretty sure I just saw an episode of Punk'd where Starlight was like, yo man, I'm gonna switch up your cutie marks, and they're like, bitch, for real?
We just watched My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, a stupid problem.
I just watched My Little Pony. Royal Problems.
A royal problem. The one with evil Celestia. You know, I think that's all anyone will be able to remember of it.
I just watched a really entertaining episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic with Luna and Celestia being part of the episode as main characters, which was pretty fantastic.
Well, currently we're just watching for Charlie's in Trees.
Charlie in the Trees? What is this, Vietnam?
No, I'm talking about Charlie the Unicorn.
No. We watched Season 7, Episode 10, Royal Pain.
Royal Problem.
Whatever, it was a royal pain in the ass to film this.
Still, I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. Let's go.
What were your overall thoughts on the episode?
Wow, where to begin? So many fun moments and massive amounts of princess development just thrown at us. Maybe even a little bit too much for just one episode.
Really happy that we finally had an episode that featured two very prominent and favorite characters in the fandom. It's about time that they got some FaceTime.
I thought it was cool.
Good news, I can definitively say that I did enjoy that one.
I think overall the episode was good. We get to see the dynamic between Luna and Celestia, and that was kind of cool, so I like it.
This episode takes place in a place with characters that we haven't seen interact in this way at all. And there's only 3, so it keeps the cast down to a small number. And with that, like, a good story can be told, especially with the what's presented and like how they do it. They do it in a creative way. Oh, yeah, the 2 rulers of Equestria get their cutie marks switched. That's interesting. That's legitimately really interesting.
I liked it. It was cool seeing Luna and Celestia kind of loosen up, have some fun, take some, shots at one another. It was enjoyable. I like it when Celestia goes from, dear sister, be safe, to, Luna, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you doing? Why are you eating a pineapple?
They haven't done anything with the 2 princesses in the 2 main princesses. I guess Twilight's princess too, whatever. But they haven't done. But like now they used them, and they used them in an interesting new way. And I can say I did like this episode.
It's about time that we saw more behind what they do on a daily basis. Granted, this was more of like, here's a brief little look at what each of them do, but in a fun way.
I thought it was executed well. The lead up to it and the spoilers I saw were a little misleading as well. It's like, ooh, this actually happened, and really it was just a dream. Granted, a very realistic dream, but still a dream. Something about the writing is different. It had the same basic formula of friendship, lesson, all that crap, but the plot line just kept me more invested this time around. The humanizing, if you will, of the royalty. I think they kind of appear as these benevolent goddesses in a sense most of the time. So every time you see a little vulnerability, it's welcome. I like that. It's neat.
It's definitely one of the best episodes of the season. Having the princesses switch cutie marks is a really neat concept, and I'm glad they did something with those 2, because we haven't really seen a lot with Celestia. We've seen some stuff with Luna, but not a lot with Celestia focusing on her, so I think this was a pretty good episode.
Solid. It continues the strength and momentum that season 7 has been carrying. And honestly, I feel like this is really gonna fire off things well as we approach the movie that's coming out in October. So this is all good. It is good, and it's been good, and Starlight continues to for me become a better and better character. Not saying, oh, she wasn't a good character. I loved her as a villain, but all the growth that she had throughout, it finally added up for me.
Alright, Rainbow Dash. I covered the first question first, so now it's your turn.
Alright. Well, I think this is the first control point anyways, so let's take a break. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode, kind of a slice of life for the princesses, which we don't see every once, all that often. Kind of makes them more real, gives them more character. And I kind of thought that... Do you hear that?
No, I don't hear anything. And thermal's tearing up clean. Oh, take it back! Go!
Dude, holy shit, a real firefight. Do you see where it's coming from?
Negative. Level suppressive power. Anyways, what I thought of the episode, I overall liked it. It was also nice to see that princesses actually have a day job rather than the age-old day job.
Alright, what the hell are you doing?
I'm finishing the questions.
In the middle of a firefight?
Yes, this is due in 30 minutes, and I am not going to be late.
God damn it. Fine, continue.
Anyways, it was nice to see the more of the princesses' day-to-day lives. And also it was good to see their dynamic expand too, rather than just being two toys to sell. They actually had more of a sisterly relationship. It was also a cool concept with Daybreaker.
Twilight, cover me.
What did you like about the episode?
Well, you see, ACRacebest, as I said before, I really liked the dynamic between the princesses. It was good to see that they had more of a sisterly relationship than what we've seen in the season before.
I like that Celestia and Luna can be real characters for us in an episode like this. A lot of times they're figureheads, or they're just, the face of Equestria. They're symbolic as they're the ones, the leaders. This, you get that background where you really feel like you're getting to know Celestia and know Luna, know their dynamic, their relationship.
It was also nice to see Starlight Glimmer in this one too.
What I liked about the episode was the fact that, they had their dynamic going on. It had some great jokes, some more character development to Starlight. I thought it was good. So, overall, good episode.
Just seeing more from Celestia and Luna, I guess. There were also a ton of really funny moments, especially from Twilight.
That we got to see the antithesis of Nightmare Moon, Nightmare Sun and Jawbreaker, whatever. That was really neat. I think we've all kind of wondered about that. Does that exist? And it's neat to actually see that, even if it didn't happen in a kind of Inception style episode. That was really cool. And of course, I like the voice acting.
This episode honestly felt like it could have been the premiere of season 7. Obviously the premiere set everything up, but it was such a solid, and even, I guess you could say, it had its violent bits, it had its moments of, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen here?
There was a lot of visual humor. There was the fact that Luna comes in when she's tired and she eats the pineapple and walks off, and then they do it again, but with the banana, except she eats the peel instead of the, that was funny. There was also the dream bubbles, and you could see, if you paused it or went through it slowly, you could see that each of the dream bubbles when Celestia is going through the dreams.
It was actually really neat to get a look at the life the princesses live in the castle, and, seeing everything that they do while the other characters are out actually saving the world.
It was interesting. They did a lot of new, interesting things that the show hasn't been doing recently for a long while, and that's cool.
So what did I like about this episode? I guess I like the dynamic between the two princesses. You don't get to see that too much. Damn it. Twilight, you got any ammo?
Kinda busy here.
Alright.
I like that we got to see Celestia in like different tones of voice, because usually she has this sort of like, you know, grand prequel thing that she's doing. But seeing like Daybreaker and also her just being like confused and surprised, having her like do these different emotions, which she doesn't really usually do, is really great. And I love Daybreaker's design. That was really awesome.
I also liked that they kind of showed that they're not just lazy and they do nothing, that they actually have daily lives. You don't get to see that too often. So that was kind of nice.
I liked that they were more chilled out. I liked that Celestia was being a bit more of a bitch. I like bitchy Celestia. I like bitchy Luna. I like Twilight wearing a ballerina outfit. Everyone does.
What did you dislike about the episode?
I am going to dock a couple of points for, like, the fact that they didn't distribute time between Celestia and Luna equally. Albeit, I'm thinking, there's like an argument going on in my head right now. The fact that Celestia does not get as much time as Luna. Luna's daytime musings take like half the episode, while Celestia's musings only take up like a third.
Nothing. I loved it. It was a good episode.
Luna understandably realizes that Celestia's job is harder than it looks, but Celestia doesn't really get the same equal like, basically she goes into one dream and is like, God, this is so hard. This one dream that, man, your job is so hard. Like, it's not an equal thing in the slightest. Maybe it's you could chalk it up to Celestia being like more forgiving than Luna, but at the same time, it also feels like it's just sloppy writing. But I don't want to say sloppy writing though, because the episode besides that is fantastic.
There is a weird element with the dream world that I still haven't wrapped my head around, so this might be a personal dislike. But when Daybreaker showed up and was threatening Nightmare Moon and all that in this dream realm, it almost feels like I felt like I was asking myself, so is this actually a threat, or is this just technically a dream that Celestia is now involving herself in? Is it like, oh my gosh, what if she actually takes over, or is she kind of just fighting this entity that Starlight's dreaming up, so to speak? So in that sense, it's like, that for me was a little bit hard to grasp, and I feel like it was actually a lot more threatening than I was acknowledging or realizing at the time. It's like, I think it was once everything was done, I went, oh, you know, maybe that was actually really bad.
There's not much to dislike about the episode. I'm giving it that. Like, I was looking for reasons to dislike the episode in my head, because I'm like, I don't like giving episodes good scores. Like, I like nitpicking the things out of episodes, but I couldn't find too much to nitpick, or at least the good outweighed the bad so much.
There wasn't much I disliked about it. I mean, Twilight's overprotective micromanaging got on my nerves, but it's not like it's uncharacteristic of her. You know, that's something that's one of her weaknesses, something she struggles with, and, you know, it's annoying, but that doesn't mean it was bad.
I didn't feel like Celestia was in a true form of danger or like that, like, oh my gosh, that real sense. I felt like it was still focused on, you know, oh, this is what Luna goes through on a regular night, as opposed to, if I don't fix this, everything's going down.
At first, I didn't like that Luna sort of got the crappy end of the stick, where she had to stay up and Celestia had to got to go right back to bed. But then I realized, well, Luna gets to go back to bed again after it's over. So I guess that balances out. Maybe, I guess, I don't know.
Oh shit, this weather's too hot. I'm ordering a tactical retreat.
Yeah, Roger, falling back. So what did I dislike about this episode? Well, I guess, honestly, that it wasn't long enough. you didn't get enough of the princesses. Shit, over there, on the ridge. So, honestly, I thought it could have been longer. I thought they could have used more time to hash it out. And this honestly could have been a finale or a season opener. But overall, I thought it was good. There wasn't really any downsides to it, except maybe less time. Pulling back.
Knowing what they were able to do in the comics, I think I was a little disappointed that they didn't really transpose that over to the episode as much. They didn't really have the time to do so, so it's really no fault to the episode. It was just more that they couldn't get in. It's kind of like transporting a book into a movie. You're just not going to get all the details.
Well, like Raymond said, it definitely felt like they couldn't try to cram too much of a good episode into such a short time. And also, I'm not sure how much I like Starlight's involvement in it. It seemed kind of like they were just trying to shoehorn her in again. That's all for now. Talk poetry.
I'm torn about Starlight. I don't really know how to explain it, but just something about Starlight's writing feels forced and uninteresting to me. I also didn't care for how the princesses were written as bickering children instead of the once regal rulers I knew them as. But neither of these things really ruined it for me. I still like the episode a lot.
The fact that they keep talking about how the map chose something. Is the map alive? We don't know. I'm calling it right here. The map is the main villain at the end of the season. It'll do something weird and just send them on a wild adventure. Just watch.
What was your favorite moment?
I was definitely surprised by Daybreaker and the fact that they made like an evil Celestia. That is a really cool design, and I can't wait to see people cosplay that. That's gonna be awesome.
I liked that brief bit during the dream sequence where all the little dream bubbles are going by and you see Applejack with, it looks like her parents. And that's a huge call out to another very widely debated fandom topic. And I mean, it's a canon topic as in regards to what did happen to the parents. And it just adds to that lore, adds to that story, while not telling us. And I feel like that's gonna be there's gonna be a very big topic. I feel like it's on the verge of coming up. And season 7 seems like the season that if they're gonna hit the topic of what happened to Applejack's parents, or maybe acknowledge how Applejack or Apple Bloom or their family deals with it, maybe even Granny Smith, I feel like season 7 is the one to do it. This has been such a good season and strong. Writing's been great. Obviously the animation and the art department's, it's still doing a great job as well. So we'll see what comes of that. Overall, how would you rate the episode?
I think I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. It gets a grade A.
A solid 7 out of 10.
Solid 8 out of 10. Good episode. Didn't have Tom the Rock in it, so.
It's not a perfect episode. Like I said, there were problems between how they distributed time, but to be fair, there's like not much they could have done about that anyway.
Probably a 9. It was a good episode, had its funny moments. I like what they did with Twilight's character in this episode. I like what they did with Starlight's character in this episode, and of course, Celestia and Luna. So it was great.
It's almost a 10 though. It is very close to a 10. 9 is still a really good score though. This was a good episode.
Give it a 9. I give it a 9. I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, maybe they could have reached a bit more with like the Alicorn lore.
It's hard to rate this episode because there were some moments I really, really liked, and then there were just some moments I didn't care for that much. I suppose I'll give this one a 7 out of 10, although even now I'm not sure if that should be higher or lower.
Like the fight sequences and whatnot, it's like, okay, this is a regular episode, not a finale. I felt like they were toned to a regular episode of violence where it's like, all right, I'm gonna zap you with this, but it's not like the big like boom and bang. So it didn't have season premiere or season finale epicness to it, but it isn't a season premiere or finale, so that's okay. But that's, I think, what I'm keeping it from a top-notch 10 level. But it was definitely a great episode, and now I'm hungry for pancakes.
I give it an 8, maybe 8.5. And only because I never rate 10. I never do. And while it was enjoyable, it wasn't like whoa! You know, there have been episodes like that. They set a high standard, you know, and the show's been going on so long.
I would probably give this a 9 out of 10. It's one of the best episodes that I've seen of the show, definitely from season 7. So, yeah, it's definitely high up there for episodes. So, yeah, really good episode.
They have fierce competition with themselves at this point. But I did enjoy the episode. It was good. It was fun, and it was interesting. And I shall not soon forget it.
Oh shit! We didn't give him a rating! Fuck it, 10 out of 10 IGN.
Congratulations.
Ha! That's what I thought.
On my phone. It's my closet. It's where I have my brony rage.
You shut your mouth. Fair mouth.
Asking for footage by June 17th. That didn't happen.
Okay, the ground running did make sense. Automatic for fun. What's the next lyric? Damn it.
I just got out of a night of destruction, and wouldn't you know it, that my biggest injury was a bee sting.
Is it colostomy bag or is it colonoscopy bag? Colostomy bag.
Here's some information.
Ew!
It's sad to say, but this is a inaccurate. 12 minutes in after Looney.
I am Princess Celestia.
Still not broken.
On my camera. It's right over here. What around?
Stalker! Stranger danger! Oh! I am going to cock.
The ice cream man's here.
Wow, that was a hell of a patrol. What
Yeah,
a
I'll
fucking
say.
adventure.
Anyways, finishing the editing, rendering, uploaded, and sent to ACRacebest.
What? That fast? That's amazing.
What are you talking about? We're futuristic technological super soldiers.
Wow. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess we do have some advanced technology, but I guess that just raises one question.
What's that?
Well, I mean, if you already edited it, rendered it, and sent it to ACRacebest, then how is he getting this?
It is my zone.
This little shit right here. What?
Stupid cat purred the entire fucking reactor. It is now falling asleep that it's all found.
You little fucking shit.